Today we're talking to Fiona Quill from Tax Assure, which I'm very, very excited about. Thank you so much for joining us today, Fee.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
So Fiona's role was created about a year ago now. I
Yep.
had envisaged this role that you would come on board to give everyone a big hug, every new inquiry. But I think your formal title is Client Engagement Officer,
Agent
or
officer.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, or CEO as we like to call you.
Oh, yeah, I'll take that.
Now, if someone is watching this right now and thinking, oh, what's going to happen if I put an inquiry into the website or I send a form in, what happens after you receive? What's the very first thing that happens after you receive that website inquiry?
The first thing I would do is I'd reach out to the client, just let them know that we've received their inquiry, find out a little bit about them, let them know how we work, what we do, how we can assist them, and then I would arrange a time for them to speak with, yourself or one of our other directors, and just let them know that there's a path forward without, you know, being too dire, really.
Yeah. And is that often a conversation? Is it so it's not just scary backwards and forwards emails, but you're having a chat to
Oh,
them?
no, absolutely have a chat. Sometimes if I don't get them the first time, I'll send them an email, but I always ask when it's an appropriate time to call them back. A lot of the times it's mums with kids at school pickup or, something like that, tradies on the job site. So we've got to sort of work around them as well, that it's an appropriate time for them to chat and let them sort of know that it's as much as it's daunting for them, that there is help out there.
And what's a common feature when you first speak to someone? Is there a common feature that everyone is feeling and experiencing when you first have that chat?
Most recently, it's about receiving letters from the ATO, and they're just unsure about what it means and what the next steps would be. They don't like calling the ATO. It's very, besides the time frame of waiting on the phone, it's just a scary thing for them. So that's why I think a lot of these people jump online late at night trying to find options, and that's where I get a lot of the inquiries. They come through at night because people are at home and they're just thinking about it and more than probably stressing about it, that they go, oh, I'll just send this and see where it goes. So,
And stress, when I talk to these clients, the common factor that I see is stress. So
yes.
everyone pretty much, no matter how big their business is, how big the turnover is, how long they've been in business for, or whether they're a sole trader, the common element seems to be stress. For a long
Yes.
time, we've been using a hashtag help sleep at night. Is that something that you hear a lot?
Yeah, definitely. It's keeping them up at night. They're trying to work out how they're going to pay their mortgage, how they're going to pay the ATO back. And as you say, we help people from, large corporations down to just the mum and dad's little sole traders, and they're the ones I feel that, that they feel the stress the most. And, perhaps they haven't had, you know, the forethought, or there's been things going on in their family life that the ATO has to take a back seat, and then it just accumulates for them, and then it's just this massive pressure. So I just feel if I can just reassure them that you know there is help out there, that we can work through it with them, find ways forward for them, that it's not as once they hang up, or once I say, look, I'll book you in with the team, we'll get someone to, help you out. I think they feel a little bit of relief that it's, oh, okay, you can do that for us. So
Yeah,
yeah, it
and
makes them
and
feel a bit better.
I hear that a lot. I already feel better that I've spoken to Fiona. I already feel
Yeah.
better that I've spoken to you. And one of the things I think that is quite different that people don't always understand is it's a very bespoke solution. So
Yes.
and that there is a human behind the website form. And there's a human
Yeah, I'm
behind.
not a bot. I'm not a bot.
You are not a bot, and I think that's such a special thing about your role is that
Yeah.
we do speak to every inquiry. There is a human that is dealing with every single inquiry, and it isn't one size fits all. We do talk to them about what their circumstances are, what their situation is, and what the pathway, exactly what you said, the pathway forward for everyone is very, very different. And it is not a cookie cutter approach. The other thing that I hear and see a lot is sometimes there's a bit of shame around debt, and people think they're the only person that's in this position. To give us a bit of a snapshot on a busy day, how many inquiries could you get in one day?
Oh, they range. Sometimes I'll have 6 website inquiries and 4 phone calls, and then the next day it's the reverse, and then that's on top of other people contact us in different ways. They go through referrers. So, it can be, I might have 4, tradies this week, or then the next week I've got a couple of, bigger corporations. So it can be quite full on. And then because there's other bits to the role as well, going back to them, finding out some more information. So it can be, I might speak with the client multiple times before they, have a call with yourself, or once they've spoken to you, we need to find out some more information or go back to them. And I find that because I've spoken to them initially, they're familiar with me, and it's a bit easier to gain that information because I've already got the rapport with them.
And I think that, again, you're not a bot, and we do care about the person. So there is a lot of work, and your role is actually quite interesting in a business model, because your role is before they're even a paid client, before they've even converted. So a lot of care goes into seeing whether we can help them, whether or not they would meet our criteria as a client. And we don't just take every matter on. We really look and dive into whether or not there are solutions that we can help with. And I know that you ask me a lot, and I think this shows how much you care. When they don't fit the criteria for a client, we can
Yeah.
help. We're always trying to find a solution for someone else that might be able to help as well.
Absolutely, yes. I don't feel comfortable leaving them with, sorry, we can't help you. So, I do try to find if there's another, firm or another avenue for the client to try, because, I understand their pain. I feel, can
Yep.
feel what they're going through, and it's a shame that we can't help, but we can't always assist them. So, because their,
Yep.
position's a bit different to how what we can do. So yeah, I do like to be able to find someone else that could help with them, and
Yep.
give them an introduction, and hopefully that the next firm are the ones that can help.
And I think, again, that is very unique, that you're not a bot, we're not a bot at the front end, and we really want to find the right solution. But even just looking at how many inquiries can come in a day, I think when people are in a rut, or there is a lot of stress, they feel very alone, and that they're the only person. I had a matter yesterday where the person was very, very stressed, over around $150,000 debt. And the amount of the debt obviously is relative to your turnover and to your business. But we see and help with debts anywhere between sort of around 100 up to, I think we've got the biggest at the moment, it's around 5 million. And I said to this person, it's okay. You're not the worst thing that's on my desk today. And even that small little piece really seemed to make them feel better. That there is a solution, and so many people, I'm sure you hear this too, didn't even know that we existed.
Correct. Yeah, they do a bit of a um, now an AI search, and they're finding us, and
Oh, that's pretty
looking on
cool.
the web. Yeah, and apparently we were the number one. We were the top one, so that's pretty cool. Um,
Awesome.
yeah, so they have this thing, and their accountant might not be able to help them, or their accountant's too busy doing all their other great work accountants do. But it's just that because we are a little niche, little pocket that some people just aren't aware is there. Once they get on their Google and have a look, this is what they're finding, and they jump on our website, can see what we can do, and then that's sort of when they type in the form and send it
Yep.
off. So,
And the difference
yeah,
from how clients feel when you first talk to them compared to when we've helped and we've completed the job, we've got them in a payment plan, we've protected them from any further action. They're now in what the ATO consider a compliant position because they're in a payment plan. How do they, when you've had the opportunity to speak to them at the other end, or see their email feedback, because you see both sides, what
yes,
is the difference
absolutely,
from when
yeah.
they first come
Oh,
in compared to once it's all
it's yeah,
sorted?
A big difference, a big difference. So yeah, there's been quite a few that have, just sent a big thank you email just to, to say thanks to the whole team for,
Yeah,
the team that's done the negotiating for them, got them on the plan, and they can actually sleep at night. So
yeah, yeah.
that's, that they have that pathway forward, and yeah, they're just really appreciative of what we can do for them.
And you can see the stress. Like I can, well, I say see, you can hear it. You can hear in
Yeah,
their
yeah,
voice.
the
Yeah, the
voices,
relief.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yep.
Um,
Yep, there's just a lighter tone.
when you're talking to so many of these business owners that don't know what to do and can't see a way forward, and you are at the coalface at the very beginning of this process, what tips would you have? So if people are watching this late at night or a bit stressed out,
Just
do you have any tips about what they should do and what next?
Well, to just get in touch, basically, because even as you said earlier, if we can't help, we'll guide them on perhaps to someone else. But, I think 9 times out of 10, we are able to assist these clients. Just to let them know that even if it's as daunting as it seems, there can be a pathway forward. So I think that's just the tip, just to get in touch, because it doesn't cost them anything to get in
Yeah,
touch,
that's
and
exactly right.
to hear our next steps doesn't cost them anything. So, and that can just give them that little bit of peace of mind that it's not all doom and gloom, that we can get the ray of sunshine in for them,
Yeah,
even though it is, to us it might seem a small debt, only because we know all the other debts that we've handled on the larger scales, but it's still large to a mum and dad or a small business owner. This 80 to $100,000 is still massive for them. So it's really just understanding that they're in the same position as someone that owes $1 million, because it's all relative to them.
absolutely. I'll also ask you, are there any situations or circumstances, because you hear a lot of what's happening with people that have stuck out to you about people that we've really been able to make a difference and really been able to help, that have gone through tough times or adversity or sickness or difficulties?
There's been a couple that have had some really sad health stories and with family members, and what happens is it gets put to the back burner, and then it all accumulates, and they have a lot of GIC that they just can't get on top of. They might be in a payment plan, but they still can't see a way forward. And yeah, there's been a couple that they've come to us in tears, basically, and then we've spoken to them, we've worked with them closely, got them on a payment arrangement, and then once they were compliant, because we worked with them in their capacity to pay, we were able to get the GIC removed, and yeah, just the general interest charges. So it's the interest that gets charged by the ATO on a daily basis, and it just accumulates. So even if they're on a payment arrangement, they're still accruing interest daily, and it can just really build up.
Yeah,
Even though they're still going through the sadness of the health issues, at least that weight's come off their shoulders, and that's probably one of the biggest
yeah.
ones.
A lot of people say to me, coming out of the commercial litigation world and my old life, well, now aren't you just helping crooks avoid tax? And is all you do is just, help people with tax evasion and helping huge multimillionaires, not have to pay the tax and avoid it and in a bad situation. Is that your experience of who we're helping and what we're doing?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're, you know, being on the front line, and I do get a lot of, well, I get all the, incoming inquiries, and they're not always from the corporations. They're mainly from, your mum and dads or your small business owners. It's not that they don't want to pay the tax. They do want to pay the tax. Sometimes they, for whatever circumstances, behind the scenes, they can't pay the tax. They can't afford it at that time. And then that's how everything accumulates. And that's when they get the general interest charges and late penalties. And a lot of that's beyond their control to start with. So they're not in that position because they just didn't want to pay the taxes. So it's, we definitely aren't helping the charlatans.
Well, you've hit the nail on the head, because that's actually the law.
Yeah.
So that's what the ATO need to see. So to be able to
Yeah.
get rid of those general interest charges, we need to be
Yeah.
able to demonstrate and prove that the circumstances were outside of their control. And there are so many stories that I have heard as well as you. And people, bad things happen. Bad things happen to really good people that are outside of their control, that are doing everything they possibly can to pay their tax, to run a successful business. So I think it's reassuring, and it's great to get that message out there as well as to who we're helping and how we're helping.
We're helping everybody that, that we can. So the smaller debts are absolutely something that we can help with as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for today, Fiona.
Oh, no worries.